G'day guys and welcome back to the JFBS SuperCoach channel. And today what we're going to go through is a bit different. If you saw my last video of Guns and Rooks, it'll make sense. But today we're going to go through mid-price madness. And what I mean by that, we're going to construct a team with guys who are 500k and less. We're not going to include rookies in this, even though I've got a couple 99k rookies. But my point is I'll be making a full team of 500k to 200k team. So it's basically value team and nice priced player teams. I hope that makes sense as my intro. But yeah, I've already put the filters on. It's 500k and less, but I'm not going to be picking Wilkie or Bowie in this video, or any other 500k guys. I'm not going to pick Oliver, and that's about it. Yeah, so let's get started on my side. First guy on the list is Jasper Fletcher. Now, I was making my team originally, and I didn't have him on, but then I realized, wow, I actually have a lot of money, and I can afford him. Not bad. Not bad. I can deal with that. But yeah, Jasper Fletcher came off a really strong year last year with an average of 87.7 last year, coming off halfback. Now that Coleman's coming back, I reckon it's going to be Zorko's last year. That's just a gut feeling from an outside perspective, even though he just seems to be never shying away from playing footy or just at his elite high level. And you've got Wilmot as well, so you've got a good problem with four elite guys coming off halfback, but we did see today, as I'm recording this, that Coleman was basically playing the full game off that halfback flank, which was really nice. So, Fletcher, what does that mean for him and Wilmot? So, I think they're going to be playing Fletcher a bit more high up the ground. I reckon they'll play him a bit more midfield. I don't think it's going to be a massive effect, the whole Lachie Neale situation, but I think it will come to an effect that I reckon this might be as last year in Brisbane. And Brisbane have a lot of mouths to feed, especially in that midfield. You've got, they drafted Dan Annable recently. You've got McCluggage, Dunkley, and you've already solid foundation guys. You've got Will Ashcroft. Levi will be trying to get in. And you've just got so many guys. Fletcher might have a go in the middle. Jared Berry goes into the middle sometimes. I know he's more of a wing, but can get into that like stoppage area, gets into the ground and bullies into it. I know that's not how he plays, but you get what I mean. He can be that type of player. He's a tough nut. But my point is, it's Fletcher. I reckon it's a good year to experiment with him. I just wouldn't risk it personally, but he's an option. He's an option. He's a guy under 500k, which isn't too bad. Next up on the list, all players within 5k of each other, is Archie Roberts, Colin McKercher, and Miles Bergman. I'll talk about Archie Roberts last, but McKercher, I think everyone knows, 38% of people have him. I've got him in my team. We've got it absolutely confirmed from, I know it's a player, but Charlie Comben, defender for North Melbourne, said that Colin McKercher will be playing halfback. Now, I know it's coming from a player and not from a coach, but you could generally like get that trust from a player. Like, I know there were those rumours at the start, or he was training with the midfield, probably getting a point of difference for his game, as well as Finn O'Sullivan. So I think he'll be decent for this year. And then I did a recording just before and I stuffed up something. I forgot what it was, but I was looking at Miles Bergman, and they are experimenting him playing, footy. They were experimenting in playing his footy into the middle, so being in that rotation there, which means if you have a look, these are games that he was in the centre bounce appearance 50% or more, had an average of 108.3, which is really nice. And two of them were him tagging. This game, it really significantly brought his average down because he only scored a 66, but he was also tagging there. If we just did, because he could be a tagger, and Willem Drew is a bit of a tagger too. A 91 in the middle while tagging, not too bad either. He is priced at a 82.7, so just under Colin McKercher, but he'll be a decent guy to go for, I reckon. I don't think I've got him in my team, and I can explain it in this video, I guess, but I'll explain it more in another video why I don't have him. Maybe my February team or end of Feb team when I post that. but I just don't think he'll be a guy that I'll be having in my top six. He he could be a guy at my flex, but I don't want, and I really want a ruckman there. I think your goal for flex is a third ruckman. But actually, with the new ruck rules, they might all average down, and Bergman might do all right. So maybe I'm wrong on that part. Next guy on the list, as we scroll down a little bit more. Where is he? There, these two next to each other. Okay, I didn't want him at my flex, that's for sure. God, I'm going to have to scroll down again. Nick Newman and Sam Banks next to each other in the price range there. Nick Newman, I've said, 12% of people have got him in his team. I don't mind the point of difference. I just don't like how he's, 32? I'll just double check that. So he recently turned 33 this year. So, don't know. He's just turned 33 coming off an ACL injury. Like, he's got, 2-3 seasons most back into AFL. I know he's a pretty fit guy, considering that not last year, but the year before, he had a pretty decent year. And I know he was averaging maybe around 100, 105 at most, but I just can't take that risk. 12% of you are taking that risk, which is fair enough. You can do that if you want, but look, I'm just not going to do that. Sam Banks is interesting. Now, as a Richmond fan, I like that people were getting on the bandwagon of Sam Banks. Like, I thought he did kind of semi-break out, could do even better this year as Jaden Short's kind of on the decline, as much as I hate saying that. But at 438K is not too bad. Look, I don't think he'll average much more than a 90, and that's what, once again, that you 147. Oh god, I can't speak. 487. So he's making 50K. I just don't think he's a guy that's going to be making you a decent amount of cash, or he's not going to be a guy in your main six. I think you need to be structuring a team where you've got guys who are going to be accumulating money quick and guys who are going to be on your team for the whole season. And I just don't see Sam Banks out of these six being that guy. I actually forgot to talk about Archie Roberts. I'm sorry about that. But I'll talk about Archie Roberts now. Archie Roberts is going to be interesting. If we look at Essendon and their defence, I don't think they have any guys above 500K. But you look at this team, got Andrew McGrath, who comes off the back, Zach Reid, who's the key defender. I know he injured himself, but he looked really nice last year, and there was a couple games where he just bloody killed it. Ridley, who, he is good. He's like maybe a tier below, like a Tom Stewart type level guy. Got Jackson Pryor came in through. And you got a bunch of guys as well. You got Ben Mackay as the other guy who was, coming off half back. So look, I think Archie Roberts could be him and Andrew McGrath. Don't know how it's going to work, but I think he might take in the most kick-ins last year, or towards the end of last year, was taking the most. Roberts 3. Yeah, it would be taking around 3. Redmond took the majority by quite a bit, and definitely took all of Ridley's when he went down at the end of last season. And Jackson Pryor took about 1. But yeah, he took about 26 and is 100%, which isn't too bad. So, look, I think he'll definitely improve his average, in my opinion. Third year this year, I think he'll do even better. Definitely, I'd rather him over Banks. I'd rather him than Newman, and it's a toss-up between him and Bergman. But I think McKerch is the number one option out of these 5, and potentially Fletcher is your 6th guy. But yeah, anyways, that's my opinions on him. And then I'll just have here, because it's Essendon. There's no Essendon player called Coleman. There we go. We've got Canadian Coleman there. I mentioned before, he's playing down back now, which is really nice. So, I mean, why don't you have an on? I think he's kind of a lock. I think he's almost a lock on my team, definitely. Don't know about your guys' team, but he's definitely a lock on my team. Playing, was it the A squad, or he was playing all game halfback, which was really nice. All right, so I'm going to talk. There's three guys in this midfield. Yeah, three guys in this midfield where that I would rather up forward. But so let's just search them up. Let's go with the Wardlord here. 396K. A lot of people are hyping him up, which is really nice. I guess we can have a look. What did he average last year? At 396, what would that average you? About 70? Oh, isn't that great? 73.2. Didn't play the first 5 rounds or 6 rounds. If you want to, actually no, because I didn't play in the. Yeah, ignore me. What was that? Minutes per. Oh, he was on the ground. Well, you got to think about. I think he got injured in that game, so probably go into his player summary here and have a look at more in-depth stats when it comes to SuperCoach with his the games where he was centre bounce appearance. Wow, so these are all above 60. If we just did above 60, well, that's about it. An average of 94, and that one, what did he score? 71. These four, 95, 100, 114, and 90. We'll disregard the Hawthorn game. That's what he is averaging when he is under 60%. So he's going to be playing a lot of minutes. He has to play a lot of minutes for me to consider him a spot in my team personally. And I think he will. I definitely think he will. Looking at like North Melbourne's list, they've just got so many people. Like Sheasel, I don't know what they're doing with him. Like, is he playing half forward? Is he playing in the middle? You got LDU. You've obviously got Wardlaw. You got Finn O'Sullivan. Well, how are they going to fit him? They might play him on the wing. They might put him into the middle a couple times. But look, I think there's just too much for my liking. They've drafted way too many midfielders, North Melbourne, and I just don't like it personally. So I'm personally going to steer clear. Oh, I forgot about Elliot Yo. I didn't originally have him on my team, but we can talk about him, I guess. 53, 2 years ago, 2024, he just broke out Supercoach wise. Finally had a decent year where he was just pretty had low tolerance for injuries, which was really nice. So he just had a nice run of, averaging 120. And then he got injured, and I think he got injured again not too long after he came back. So look, pick him if you want, but I'm just not going to. One of my locks for this year, Hayden Young, 54% have got him. He's got the most, was it 2024 or 3 or 25? One of those 3 years. He had the highest or equal highest Supercoach points per minute on ground. So, look, if that doesn't tell you something, then I don't know. Next guy I've got is Harvey Langford. So that Melbourne midfield is going to be interesting and how they play out. I'm going to keep definitely an eye on that Melbourne midfield. I want to try and get to the game. Do we play Melbourne? I feel like we do play Melbourne. And when I mean me, I mean we. I mean Richmond. I feel like we played Melbourne as a practical game, but I'm not too sure when. But we'll see. But I'll definitely be tuning in. I think everyone will be tuning into that Melbourne midfield to see who's in the middle, who's like orchestrating what. Because it's just a lot of different guys that they can experiment in that lineup there. And I feel like not Parrish. Well, I've just spoiled my next pick, I guess. Not that it was much of a spoiler, but I feel like Langford could definitely take it a step further with his game. All right, didn't spoil it at all. Darcy Parish, he's been super healthy over this preseason. We'll have a search for him, I guess, here. What do we have here? Come on, DFS, please load. Let's have a look at the year 2024. He was pretty on and off. Just click everything in 2024. Okay, so an average of 89. And what did he average last year? Was it? Okay, now he's just not there. What is it? 334. An average of 88 over 3 games, which is not too bad. That's kick-ins. All right, what about games where he's above a 70? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 93. Okay. Well, I'm going to go with him personally. If we look at maybe 2023, sorry, I know I'm going this year by year. Wow, okay. Well, I don't even need to do the last couple of games for it to look nice. An average of 108 all of 2023. He obviously missed a decent chunk in the middle there. When was this last year where he just played a full year? Is it this one? No. 21? Not sure. But look, 2023, which was 3 years ago now. Fuck hell. It's a long time ago. Yeah, look, an average of 108. If he's completely healthy and they're high on him, apparently, I've got him in my team personally. I don't think there's a reason why you shouldn't go for him. All right, another guy. I think I'm not weirdly high on him, but I've heard that he's playing down back Ollie Florent. I feel like no one's talked about him enough. Who's Carlton got as their defence again? I know they got Adam Sard. I've been looking more at defence here. Sard, Haynes, Hollins, they've been playing, but I feel like that he's better off the wing personally. Cowan, Young. Look, I think I've heard that they're training him off half back. Be interesting to see, as well as Melbourne midfielder. And I want to keep on as Ollie Florent. Not that necessarily I'm going to get him, but he is an option in my opinion. And then last but not least, I'm just going to go with not that Reid, Harley Reid. I don't personally like it. I definitely think he will improve his SuperCoach points, but it's a matter of, is he going to improve his attitude? I'm not too sure on the field. I love it, by the way. I love when a player gets dirty and gets into other players' grills. That's just my personal opinion on him as a player. I really like when he does it, but when it's SuperCoach points, you can't pick him. I can't pick him personally, unless he tones it down, which personally I don't want him to, because I love his grunt. Yeah, look, I just prefer him to not do it if it was for SuperCoach. And now we'll just do some guys who I would rather up forward, but definitely can't fit them all down forward. Zach Bailey, he's not high on my list, but definitely kind of similar to Jasper Fletcher. Just keep an eye on them. He might go have a crack in the middle as well. He's actually not too bad. I think he replaced Lockie Neal when he was injured. And he had some decently high scores. So we'll just see for there. Next guys are completely, I don't know, interesting picks. DeGoey, hate him as a person, but look, for SuperCoach, if he can really bounce back, I don't think he'll be in your best, 8. Like Harris, for example, I think he can get back to 550k. That's just a hot take for me. I don't think DeGoey can get to 550k. I think Young can get to 550k, if not more. Like Parrish and Young can definitely get more. If Parrish was averaging 108 3 years ago and he's now finally had a really healthy and uninterrupted preseason, I think Parrish is a decent option. But Young as well, they can definitely potentially be that M7, 8, and 9. Last on my list, going to be similar, but it's going to be hard for him. Trelaw, I'd love him to be healthy, and if he is fully healthy and playing round 1 and he's in the middle, it's just going to be hard because there's so many dogs players in the middle that they're going to be trying to have a crack and giving them a go. You've obviously got the three that dominated all last year with Bont, Liberatore, and Richards, who really broke out into that Dogs midfield, which was really nice. They could play him down back, but they've got Bailey Dale, which is nice. But in terms of Treloar, you've got guys like Matthew Kendi, you've got Joel Frazier. I'm trying to think of some other Bulldogs midfielders. Bailey Williams, I know he plays midfield, but, Riley Sanders, James Harms, I didn't know, but now I know now. What about defenders? Am I thinking of anyone else? Don't think so. So, look, I don't have in my team. I know 30-something% do, and I can easily, we've got plenty of time. We've got plenty of time for him to make his money because I don't think they have a buy. Their buy's pretty early, I think. So round 3. So, well, he might have one price rise. Is that right? Or does it? I don't know when the price rises start, but it could be he might have one price rise. I'd have enough time to get him a week or two before. And if he's still healthy and all that, then that'd be great to go for him. And we'll just fill the rest of these out with 99k rookies. Let's just get Ollie Greaves here. Why not? And Toby Kenobi. All right. In the ruck group, we'll make this short and simple and why I've got them here. What's his face? Let's get Mr. Very obvious pick in terms of percentage is Sam Draper. Now, I'm hearing a lot of when I'm on Twitter and when I'm on YouTube and I'm watching these creators that I love that talk about Draper. They've all got a really similar view on him. We know they're all saying that Brisbane are playing with 2 rucks. I completely understand with that. But I had a guy who commented a couple of weeks ago, probably about a month ago. This 91.6 average was with Nick Bryan when he was in Essendon. So if that's still the case, it's not even bad. I personally don't think it's a bad option. I don't have him in my team because I probably prefer different players, but not a bad option in my opinion. Like, I'm not going to tell you, hey, that's a wrong move. Like, if you had Jake Riccardi in your team, like the 1%, I don't know how 1% of people got Jake Riccardi, but to Sam Draper, I'm just going to go, that's your decision, and I can respect it. Definitely can respect it. And then Nick Bryan, he, in my view, with Essendon rucks, it's him, Vigo Vicentini. So literally, if you wanted to get for your flex a Essendon ruck, not a bad option. And we can see out of those two who's going to be making the money the most for that Essendon ruck duo. And we'll just have Kalani White there. And now we'll have a look at forwards here. Let's not go into detail. But this guy, everyone knows why everyone's picking him. Bailey Smith and McRae of last year. I don't need to go into detail. Couple people talking about Connor McDonald from Hawthorn. I don't mind it. With Will Day out, it kind of opens up a midfield spot for and Warple leaving Hawthorn. It kind of opens up a bit for that midfield spot. So Dylan Moore, obviously, has gone into the middle sometimes, and I don't mind him in the middle personally. Connor McDonald could be an experiment there. Nick Watson has been training with the mids here and there. And we'll have a look at Hawthorn's midfield. You've obviously got Jai Newcomb, and you've got Josh Ward and Nash. D'Ambrosio's on the wing. Cam McKenzie, you've got an option as well there. Is there anyone in defence potentially for Hawthorn that could go in the middle? Josh Weddle could be interesting as well. So there's a lot of options. I'm personally not going to go with Connor McDonald because I just haven't seen it. I don't know. It's not that I haven't seen enough, but, pre-season games are right around the corner. So we can definitely judge there. Right. Next guy on my list, 2%. It's grown by 1% since I checked last. Josh Rochelle has apparently been training with the midfield group, and he scored 3 or 4 goals in one of their match sims and was best on ground dominated. Am I going to go for him? I will check after what is it, round after the preseason games. By the time I've recorded this, I haven't posted this one video, which would have been out by now, which is what your end of season forwards want to look like. Now, that was before when Josh Rochelle kind of, the news of him coming, like breaking out, or not breaking out, but playing a really good game of match sim, playing, scoring 3 or 4 goals and being BOG there. Look, could be an option. Could be an option. Next guy is a bit of a different, like 4% have got him. Brent Daniels, 2 years ago, I think it was 24. I'll have a look at his player card because I know he definitely averaged a nice score in 2023. Like that was when he kind of, really made a name for himself. Didn't play many games. I probably meant 2024. Yeah, look, his last 5 games of 2024, an average of 102. I know that's including finals. Okay, I didn't want to click on Hawthorn. Please don't. Bang, 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 bang. An average of 88.2. And where does that have you in the forward line? At Justin McInerney's price at 476. So he could be saving you money there by getting him earlier. Now, that was 2024, which was 2 years ago, I understand. He was pretty injury prone now. How old is he? And he's only 26. Like, I thought he was a bit older, personally. That's probably why I sounded a bit surprised there, but he's actually not a bad option. If he can get to that 88 average that he did in 2024, perfect. Like it could be a starting 6 option for you. And if we just disregarded this thing, like he's technically a top 10, guy that you can go for. Bit different to like Cameron and Darcy and Thilthorpe and, Martin, like he's not playing this year, so that's top 9. He'll definitely be top 10 by those averages. But yeah, definitely can get up there in terms of price if he averaged the same in 2024. Let's quickly go over the last couple. We've got Sam Lawler. A lot of people are liking him. I love him personally. He's going to be the new Dustin Martin. a lot of pressure when I say that. The only thing, like, I love how people are so high on, I think this is the first time since last year. Last year was the first time since, I don't know when I can remember the last time people were having Richmond rookies on their team. Was before last year, what I'm trying to say. Before last year, I can't remember the last time people were having a lot of Richmond rookies on their list. Now it's just all the time. 44 against Hawthorn %. Like that was his highest out of 46. I know it's going to be increased. A 39. What was his time on ground? Where's his time on ground? An 81. So, like, his time on ground with 80s was a 59. Let's disregard a couple of these. It's a 42. Look, his best game was this one where he was playing full forward. Interesting. Obviously a score of 112, but I don't think he scored anything more than an 80 for the rest of the season. 79, 70, 74. Look, I love him a bit. I don't know how much that's going to improve because it was an average of 55, and people are saying, "Oh, if he can get it to 75, that's really good in my opinion." It's not. I just personally think it's not like a 75 average, an 80 average even. I would much rather save 150K and go for a different guy there. I love that people are getting on the Sam Lawler train. I wish I could, but I just can't. My heart is telling me get him, but my head, which is really at the moment, SuperCoach going, don't touch him. I'm not going to go with Sam Lawler. If you want to go different, then be my guest. But he's not going to be an accumulator. The reason why I like Jagger Smith, for example, for the midfield for Carlton, he's an accumulator. He came out of the draft as an accumulator. That's why everyone took him. Like, that's why he was more, I think he was more percentagely owned than Sam Lawler because he gets disposals. Obviously, he injured himself and then it became Lawler. But look, I think it's, you've got to get accumulators. And Lawler, let's look back at this thing 16, 15, 12, 10, 16, 24, 9, 10, 18. They're not numbers that are jumping out, which is unfortunate. So, look, if you like, he's going to be something similar to Dusty. Like, he'll have a game where he scores 30 goals. 30 goals. No, not that many. 30 disposals and 2 or 3 goals. That's great. On SuperCoach, that'll be what, 120. But that might be one game every 6. And the rest might be around 80 or 90, which is I don't think is sustainable at this current moment. I don't think he's doing that straight out the gate. That's just my personal opinion. And I don't think he's going to be doing that for the whole year either. So just keep an eye out. I did have this guy at forward line, but I kind of regret it now. I might move. Let's move Trelaw here. Let's stop talking about Cooper Harvey. A lot of people had Cooper Harvey, including myself, for a little period of time because the whole Colby McKercher's playing down back, and now we're going to be playing Cooper Harvey down back. Colby McKercher going to the midfield. Cooper Harvey's playing down back. He's been training there. So I'm not going to talk about it. And Ugle Hagen is the last forward that I'll be talking. How much money do I have? 600K. Great. Can improve a couple spots there. Ugle Hagen. So, look, 214K. Apparently, I read something on Twitter, and he played really well against McAndrew, against opposing sides. But that probably means he was on the B team, I'm assuming, because they had their A team, Leo Lombard, who apparently shined out on the unofficial A team there. I think Ugle Hagen's an interesting pick to go for, but look, at the end of the day, I don't know. Last guy we can pick. I've dragged you guys out for 30 minutes. I apologize. Who's someone that we could go for? Could we just do Elliot Yeo and just end the video here? Why not? Let's get Elliot Yeo. I spoke about it before. If he can play like he did in 2024, then he's actually not too bad of an option. But I think that's going to do it for me. Just ignore that. I just went with. Surely there's another. Is there another dude in the midfield before I let you guys go? Alex Davies is interesting. I think he's becoming one of Dimmer's favourites. So anyone else? We can go with Finn O'Sullivan, I guess, and then 319K. Who can be here? I've got to scroll quite a bit. My finger is going to get a dislocation, or the tendons are just going to tire out at some point. Judd McVie. Yeah, we could go with Judd McVie. Why not? He'll be an interesting play. Finn O'Sullivan, why not? I've just put him in there for now. And same with Judd McVie. They might play him as a bit of a halfback role, but that's going to do it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on, some of the players that I've mentioned. Let me know some of the players that I didn't mention. There's a lot of names that I talked about, and this video is dragged out 20 minutes longer than the first one. I thought it'd be a lot less, but I'm just so excited to talk about SuperCoach and my thoughts and feelings on these guys, and why I think you should pick them or not pick them. And that's just my opinion. You can disregard it or regard it however you want. But I personally think that I like 1, 2, 3, say 4.5, 5, 6, 7. I will say 8 because I do rate Florent. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I like 13, 14. I like McVie actually. I like around 14 of these players. The other guys are just, some talking points. Let me know if you like them or if I've missed anyone or you don't like any of the guys that I've mentioned. Please tell me know why. I am so open to knowing why you guys don't want them. Just give me any feedback at all. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of videos posted before I go away at some point. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.